Welcome back to another episode of the Even Your Dynasty show. It is Tuesday. It's time for another minor league update for the week of August 19th through August 25th. We didn't have as much content last week. Appreciate the patience from everyone. Went to actually 4 baseball games. We saw 2 of the games in Seattle, as well as the River Cats were playing up here against the Tacoma Rainiers. So we went to a couple of those games, had a lot of fun. Took the little one to her first couple baseball games. Big shout outs to Tyro Estrada, threw us a ball after the first inning on Friday, which was pretty cool, as well as a huge shout out to Luis Matos, who, for those of you that saw the post on my X account, they were warming up before the game. He hit the brakes, made a hard left, came running over, and signed a baseball for my little one, which was pretty cool. So that's actually sitting currently right above my head at the moment. And, that'll be a pretty cool memory for her, down the road. I'm sure hopefully he's around for a long time because I'm sure he'll be her favorite player for a long time after that one. So, getting into the action, though, had quite a bit in, especially for the River Cats this week, who went 4-2 versus Tacoma. They're now 67 and 59 on the season. A lot of action from the guys down there and a lot of good stuff out of them. Carson Wisenhunt, their number 3 prospect. He went 3 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 4 hits, a walk, 4 strikeouts. Um, I was at that game on Saturday. He only went 3 innings. They're kind of keeping him on a lower pitch count right now as he returns from injury. But overall, he looked fine. He struggled to put guys away a little bit. He was actually getting ahead in counts quite a bit, and then he just couldn't seem to put guys away. They were fouling off a bunch of pitches, and then a big 2-run home run he gave up in the 3rd inning, which kind of hurt him. That was kind of the big issue there. Other than that, he looked pretty, solid overall. But yeah, just couldn't seem to get guys, put them away in that game. Number 8 prospect, Mason Black. I also happened to be at his game or his start on Tuesday. 5 2/3 innings, an earned run, a hit, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And he actually looked really well throughout the game. Wasn't giving up a ton of hard contact. Towards the end, he gave up a big double to right center field where actually Wade Meckler really misplayed the ball. Meckler kind of stopped almost entirely, like really slowed down almost to a stop. And then it's like he misread where the wall was. And then he like tried to jump at the last second to try and catch it. But if he would have just kept moving, he would have caught it. It would have been he would have caught it easily. So, unfortunate, but that's baseball is what it is. But like I said, he looked good the entire game, had a couple walks. But overall, he only gave up 1 hit, and it was that double. And then it was a leadoff double, unfortunately for him. So they moved him over, got him in. But other than that, he was pretty sharp the entire start. Number 13 prospect, Trevor McDonald, 3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. He had probably the worst start of the group in Tacoma. Most of the starters actually pitched really well all week, but he's been pretty good all season. So he was probably due for one of these games. We'll just see how he bounces back in the next start. Number 16 prospect, Wade Meckler, had himself a huge week. 8 for 25, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Now, I say that 2 of the home runs, you're going to see those aren't leaving Oracle. It is what it is. They might even be outs. They might have hit the wall. It just kind of depends on the wind and if it was a night game versus a day game that day. But the third one he hit was a pretty impressive shot. But overall, I mean, the guy just hits. Now I did poke some fun at him this week because he hit on Tuesday. He hit like a 4-hopper up the middle and he bat flipped on a single, which I thought was hilarious. But other than that, I mean, he hits a lot of line drives, which I like that out of the guy. I do want to see him get moved to second base. Once again, I go to the game and he made a nice catch, but on one play, but he also like took a bad route and slowed down. So it kind of forced himself to make a great catch at the point. And then also misplayed another one that turned into a double that he really should have caught. So it's just, I don't like him out in the outfield. He has good range. He has good speed. I just don't like his defense out there. He takes bad routes. He doesn't get good reads in general. He is he misplays a lot of balls. He actually dropped several in spring training. I don't think he has a great feel out there. But I'd love to see him at second base. Number 24 prospect, Carson Seymour, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Had himself a nice start. Um, his fastball and slider are working really well, and he's been actually throwing the ball pretty well the last about month, it feels like. Marco Luciano had himself a good week, 7 for 22, a home run, a triple, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a stolen base. The home run was nice to see. He got kind of a lazy slider out in the middle of the plate, and he did what he should do with it. We want to see more out of him. And then the triple was nice to see because there's been a lot of questions about his health, and he looked pretty healthy on that one. And I mean, if watching the highlight, you're going to see some really good hustle out of him getting the triple out of that. Now, it would have been a home run in a lot of parks, maybe even Oracle included. Tacoma has a kind of a weird center field that's 425 to straightaway center with a really tall wall. So it might have been a home run in quite a few other yards they play in, but they were playing in Tacoma. So, but good hustle out of him. And it was good to see him kind of have a little bit of emotion, some good, I'd like to see him play with a little more edge. And I know it's not necessarily his personality, but I just think it'd be something that might, help him a little bit. Luis Matos had an awesome week. 7 for 24, 3 home runs, a double, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. The double he hit missed being a home run by about a foot. It hit off the top of the wall. You can also find that in my shorts. I posted that hit the other day. But yeah, great week from him. He's still bit pull happy. I'd love to see him use the whole field. I've been saying it all season, but he's tapped into his power a little bit. He has 17 home runs between AAA and the majors this season. I still don't think that's his future is a power guy. I'd like to see, him use the field, and then just the pull power should be count leverage, mistakes, things like that. But, it is good to see these things out of him. David VR went 5 for 20, 2 doubles, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Hunter Bishop finally had himself a good week. He's been struggling for about a month or so. He went 7 for 17 with 2 doubles, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Really, that could have been an 8 for 17 and then tack on an RBI. He got kind of jobbed on a call on Tuesday where the pitcher was covering first base. And it might have been ruled an error, but he hit a tough hopper over to the first baseman, and the pitcher totally whiffed on first base, and the umpire called him out. And I was laughing because I had the video, and I'm like, you can clearly see the guy's foot miss the bag, but it is what it is. Blake Sable, 6 for 20, a double, 3 strikeouts, and a stolen base. His average has been climbing a little bit. The power's still not showing as much as you'd like to see, especially in the PCL, but he's starting to recover his numbers a little bit. He's had a really poor season, especially at the plate. Now, defensively, I'll give him credit. I had a Tuesday night watching him catch for Mason Black. We were directly behind home plate. His blocking looks much improved. His throwing, not great. They stole 3 bags pretty easily on him. But blocking, he does look like he's put in some work there. And that's something that I was super hard on him, especially in the offseason. His last season is also last season, like he was one of the worst ball blockers I've ever seen. And you could tell it's just not a natural position for him. And I'm not like dogging him specifically. He never should have been put in that position, but it was something that it was really ugly. And I'm pretty impressed by the fact that he's put in a ton of work on it, and he looks much improved at blocking balls in the dirt. Like he's actually better than Patrick Bailey, specifically at blocking balls in the dirt. Now they're both below average, but he's put in a ton of work. Moving on over to Richmond, they went 4-2 versus Altoona. They are now 55-65 on the season. Diego Velasquez, 8 for 19, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He's their number 15 prospect. No extra base hits, but I mean, I'm not complaining about 8 for 19 and getting on base at a 450 on base percentage. Guy just hits. Obviously, we hope that the power develops a little bit. I'm not saying turn into a 20 homer guy, but you'd hope he can maybe poke 10 over the fence and a bunch of doubles and maybe some triples. out of the guy. He has some good speed, and then 20 to 30 stolen bases. I think is like best case scenario for him. Number 19 prospect Jack Choate, 4 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Good bounce back game for him. He had a pretty rough start to his Double-A career, so good bounce back for him. Jairo Pomares, he only played in 2 games. Um, I don't know if he got injured. I haven't seen any reports on what might have happened, but he went 2 for 6 with a home run. Victor Barracoto, 8 for 22, a home run, 2 doubles, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He hit his 9th home run of the year. Um, Big drop off from last season where he hit 27. Hopefully he can hit a few more out and finish the season at like 11 or 12, which in the Eastern League really isn't like unimpressive or anything. It is a very tough environment to hit, but the power drop off's been pretty concerning. Will Bednar, two pitched in 2 games, 3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. A positive sign for him because he struggled a lot, but the second game he went 2 scoreless innings. So hopefully he can build off that. He has struggled a ton for 5 or 6 weeks now, where it feels like every week he's given up, 4 or 5 earned runs on 3 or 4 innings pitched, and so it's been tough for him. But hopefully he can keep going because he does have the stuff like his fastball, slider, and changeup, all really good pitches. Just command is very spotty. For Eugene, they went 1-5 versus Tri Cities. They're now 55-64 on the season. Bryce Eldridge, their number 1 prospect, he went 4 for 19, a home run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Started the week off with a bang. He actually hit a ball like we were joking on the live show last Thursday. He hit a ball that looked like it was headed like it was going to hit a cow. He hit it so far into this grass field. But he finally cooled off a little bit. He had been really hot for the last couple weeks. He's kind of struggled the last 4 games last week. Kind of fell off quite a bit. But, you're not going to be hot 100% of the time. And he's, he obviously had a 3 or so week stretch there where he was one of the hottest players in probably all of the minor leagues. And, let's see how he bounces back. The league's going to adjust to him a little bit. Let's see if he adjusts back. I still think there's a case to be made for him to finish the season in Richmond. I don't think they're going to. I think he's going to finish in Eugene, and then they will move him up to Richmond to start 2025. That's just my prediction. Number 2 prospect, James Tibbs III, who moved up to number 2 because Hayden Birdsong graduated off the prospect list. He went 1 for 18, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts in his high A debut. Struggled quite a bit this week, but we will see, as he adjusts to the league. Joe Whitman did not pitch. That's their number 6 pitch prospect. I don't know if he has some kind of injury that's just not listed. I say it every week. They just are really bad about communicating injuries in the minor leagues. Number 12 prospect, Everson Arteaga, starting to get going a little bit in high A. 6 for 22, 2 doubles, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Number 17 prospect, Trent Harris, has been very impressive. Pitched in 2 games, 4 innings pitched, no earned runs, 4 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. I think he's going to start moving through the system pretty quick in the not too distant future. Looks like he could be a pretty solid reliever down the road. That's how they're using him already anyway. Maybe in a couple of years we'll see him in the pen in San Francisco. Number 23 prospect, Jonah Cox, 2 for 13, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He's up to like 58 stolen bases on the season. He's going to easily clear 60. Maybe he'll make a push for 70. He needs another good week of those. He hasn't really been getting on base frequently enough in Eugene to get, to utilize his speed to the best visibility. But, he's been playing a little better over the last few weeks. Number 29 prospect, O'Neill Perez. He's back on the top 30 list. I had a couple of guys graduate off the list in Hayden Birdsong and Landon Roop. So they added a few back on the tail end. And O'Neill Perez got back on the list. He's 2 for 10, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Still doesn't play as much as I'd like to see him play. They're almost, they almost it's like load management for catchers. They're only really playing him 3 days a week, which I'd like to see him at least in 4. I mean, I feel like that's a little nitpicky of me, but that just kind of feels like how much that he should be playing if they're trying to develop him. Charlie Saccounty, 5 for 25, a double, a walk, 7 strikeouts, and a stolen base. Pretty, he finally cooled off a little bit as well. A lot of Eugene did, not a lot of good performances out of them this week in Tri-Cities. And then Quinn McDaniel, 3 for 17, 2 doubles, a walk, 6 strikeouts, and stolen base. Moving on to San Jose, they went 3-3 versus Modesto. They are 68 and 51 on the season. Number 7 prospect, Walker Martin. He has continued to struggle a ton. And I do not remember the last guy that I've seen struggle this much to make contact in the lower levels of the minors. Like, this is starting to get to the point where it is pretty concerning. But he's 3 for 20, a double, 8 walks, and 15 strikeouts. Like, positive, he's getting on base, but you can't strike out at a 50% rate in the minors and really advance, through the system at all. So it's something that I'm not going to get concerned until, or get too worried about him until next season if this is if this continues. But right now it's a big red flag at the moment. I'd like to see him go to the fall league, get more experience, keep playing. I don't know what the team's plans are for him. I think he's a big fall league candidate. But he might, I don't know if it's a mechanical overhaul that he needs or what, but he is just clearly overmatched right now. Number 18 prospect, Jacob Bresnahan, 3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. He struggled quite a bit since the Giants acquired him in the Alex Cobb trade. Number 20 prospect, Robert Hipwell, 7 for 26, a triple, 3 doubles, 5 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Pretty good performance overall out of him. You'd love to see the strikeouts go down a little bit, but he's been pretty solid at third base and showing some power. And, so far I like that draft pick from this season. Number 26 prospect, Bo Davidson, only played in 1 game. He went 0 for 5 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Again, he's still listed as active. He's not on the injured list. Not sure if something's bugging him or what, but yeah, he left the game on Tuesday and hasn't returned since. Number 28 prospect, Josh Bostic, 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, 2 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. He's had a couple of these outings in the last 3. I think 2 of his outings he's shut out the other team for 5 or 6 innings. So really good to see out of him. Hopefully he keeps it up. He has not had a great year in San Jose. Very up and down, high 4 ERAs. I think it's like 4.8 or so right now. He has good stuff though. It gets a lot of strikeouts. Just kind of lacks command at time. Gets knocked around a few outings this year. We'll see. I'm sure they'll put him up in high A next season, but he's gonna have to start. The production's gonna have to start catching up to the stuff a little bit, and soon. Ryan Reckley had himself a good week, 5 for 12, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. No extra base hits, but it's good to see him. He's putting the ball in play more. Still a little bit too many strikeouts, but you can tell he's starting to get a little more confident and comfortable in San Jose. And then Lisbel Diaz went 12 for 30 with a triple, 3 doubles, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. He's been pretty impressive. He's clearly not overmatched in San Jose. He got off to a really slow start, but overall, he's making big strides in the last couple of weeks. He's been red hot. So good to see a lot of power showing up with him. And, he's making some strides. I'm sure he'll start in San Jose in 2025, but I think he's going to move to Eugene pretty early next season. And then moving on to the Dominican Summer League, they only played a couple games and then they started their playoffs. I do not have the stats from the playoffs, although I know Johnny Level just hit another home run in the semifinal game, third game of the semifinal today, which is the deciding game. They're still playing at the time of this recording, but he's having himself a really good playoff series so far. But he played in 2 games prior to the start of the playoffs and went 2 for 7 with a home run, a walk, a strikeout, and a stolen base. And then Oliver Tejada, 1 for 7 with a home run and a walk and 2 strikeouts. He's our number 27 prospect. So that's it for the minor league update. I know we only have a few more of these coming up. The minor league season is going to be drawing to a close soon. Afterward, we'll probably do like an entire roundup on their entire seasons, kind of give everybody, the top prospects as well as some of the other guys, what they did, how what their season ended up, where they started, where they finished, all that kind of stuff. And we'll do a run through on that. But as always, if you guys do enjoy the content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support. This week we're going to try and get a little more content out. I'll try and put some videos out either, Monday or Friday, as well as hop on with Dan over at NorCal Sports Network on Wednesday. We'll get a live show. It'll either be Thursday or Friday. So keep your eyes open. Click the bell for notifications if you want to be notified of the videos as they get dropped. But yeah, we'll definitely get a little more content this week. The family is finally all out of the house, so we've got a little more time for this. So appreciate all you guys. Catch you next time. Go Giants, and see you.